guys. All right, so we are having a guest show at my mom and dad's house in my mom's lovely kitchen. Remember how I said moms like it when you clean up your messes? This is the kitchen where we have to clean up our messes, okay? And this is my sister, Jill, and we're gonna be working together to make this vanilla dream cake because Jillian turned 23 on Thursday, so this is her birthday cake. Yes. Do you want to tell the students anything about yourself?
Well, I think you hit all the major points. I am her sister, and I am 23, and we are in the kitchen that we are not allowed to make messes in. So that keeps everyone up to date. I kind of enforced that too, because I like no messes, but that's my own personal problem. So here we go.
So as we said on the last couple of videos, clean up as you go. So we have pre-measured everything and labeled it. So there will be pictures posted with this video so that you know how much of everything that you're gonna need. Jill, this is your favorite cake and you have made it a couple times. So what are we going to do next?
So I actually have made it one time, and I made it a few months ago for the first time, and it's really a little bit different, and like it gets this moist, I don't know, super moist texture. And it's really, really good because all of our liquid ingredients we're gonna cook on the stove before we combine with our dry ingredients. So let's do our dry ingredients first.
Perfect.
And then we will proceed to the stove to cook our liquids. Okay. All right, you got it.
Okay, so we are going to combine our dry ingredients into our mixing bowl. And like I was telling you earlier, we've got those pre-mixed or pre-measured. All right, so we are going to add our 2 and 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour going into our mixing bowl right now.
Okay, then what's next? Put our sugar.
My aunt and my mom are in the peanut gallery. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Oops, and now
And of
that's
course Winnie,
right.
which you guys are used to. So, what do we put in next? Sugar?
Next, we're gonna do the baking powder and the salt and the baking soda because our sugar is actually for our liquids.
All right.
Interestingly enough.
So we have pre-measured out 2 teaspoons of our baking powder. It's gonna go in, beautiful. And we also needed 2 teaspoons of baking soda, lovely.
And then needed some salt, which we didn't pre-measure because I'm the worst. So,
So we're going
okay. You're
to
only
measure
doing it
our
because of the
salt
butter.
and add that in. Oh, that's right. Mom, want to say that one more time?
We chose to omit the salt in the recipe because we were using salted butter. So
yes.
Remember with our biscuits that we made last week, we said that if you use salted butter, most baking recipes assume that you are using unsalted butter. So if you're using salted butter, you can use less or even omit, which means to not use any salt in your recipe. So we are skipping the salt in our dry ingredients because we have got salted sweet cream butter. All right, so for our liquid ingredients, the first thing that we need to do is dissolve our sugar in water. So we are adding 2 cups of water to our saucepan. And we have set our burner to medium-high heat. It's this one right here. We're going to add in our sugar.
And this is 2 cups of sugar.
2 cups of sugar. So 2 cups of water to 2 cups of sugar. And then we are going to stir until this is dissolved. So that'll be about 1 minute. All right, so we've got our sugar dissolved in our water. So this is what that should look like.
It's kind of foggy, but you shouldn't see any granulated sugar in there.
Okay, so now what are we doing?
So we have dissolved our sugar, so now we're gonna take it off of heat. So I'm gonna turn off the stove. And now it is time to add our butter to it.
So we're gonna take 6 tablespoons of butter.
Yep, 6 tablespoons. And remember, this is our salted sweet cream butter, so this is the part that makes it okay for us to omit our granulated salt.
Also, remember when you're measuring butter, you cut it on the line that you need. You don't need to use a measuring spoon to measure it. So now are we waiting for the butter to dissolve?
Yep, so this this water should be hot enough for us to melt this butter. So it's gonna start melting.
Okay, so with our sugar and water, we cooked it until the sugar dissolved, and then we needed to bring it up to a simmer. So a simmer is when you see little bubbles
So you can kind
across
of,
the top
and
of the water.
this foam that you see it's not foam, it's actually a little bit of residual butter because I made the mistake of adding it prematurely, but prior to the simmer.
So now we're going to add our butter in.
And we had removed it. If you do that, if you make that mistake, just take it out because you're just gonna delay the reaction that you want to happen. So just take the butter out and it'll be fine. Just take it out, set it aside, get the water to the simmer, and then, so now what we're gonna see is the water should be plenty hot enough to melt this butter, because that's the whole point. You don't want any added heat with it. You just want the water to be hot enough to take care of melting it for you. So
Just remember, we say that food is chemistry. So if you didn't think that you liked science,
think again.
so we're gonna dissolve this butter, and then what's the next ingredient that's coming in? Do you remember?
See, I sure don't. Let's go ahead and check our piece of paper here.
Our handy dandy recipe.
Always refer to the recipe.
Always refer to the recipe.
Yes. So we're gonna let this cool for about 20 minutes in the refrigerator now at this point.
So once your butter is completely dissolved into your simmered water sugar mixture, then you're going to place this in the fridge. Make sure that you put a towel or a
pot holder or something under it so you don't melt your mom or dad's refrigerator.
Then they really won't let you use their kitchen.
That's right.
Mom, what are you doing?
I am going to attempt to split open the vanilla bean and scrape out the seeds for the cake.
Perfect.
Because we're not dropping the whole vanilla bean into our cake.
Yeah,
We want what's inside of it.
I have a sharp knife, so I move my fingers because I don't want to need a Band-Aid. So we're just splitting the skin on this vanilla bean. And here we go, opening it up.
So what we want to do is scrape all of the seeds out, because all we're gonna put in is the seeds from the inside of the vanilla bean.
Here they come.
See that?
There they are.
Yeah. Okay. And what do we put them in?
And we're just, eventually we're gonna add that to our liquids. At this
That's
point
it,
in
guys.
time, at this point in time, our liquids are in the fridge chilling for.
Those are our vanilla beans.
Yep, and they are chilling for their
And-
20-minute chill, and then we'll add those beans at a later time.
What I was told is after you do this, if you want to keep this bean and add it to a bag of sugar, that you just leave it in there and you have vanilla sugar. It's supposed to be really good.
That sounds like a good way to use that
Yeah,
side of the bean.
They're pretty expensive.
So it's good to find multiple uses for it.
Yes. Yes.
All right, there you go. 2 tips and tricks for you guys on the vanilla bean.
So right now we have just taken our water, sugar, and butter out of the fridge. It's done cooling. That was 20 minutes. And now we're gonna add our vanilla extract, our vegetable oil. This recipe called for vegetable oil, and we ended up substituting grapeseed oil for that because we didn't have vegetable oil and we had olive oil, and that olive oil would have tasted kind of funky as the end result, but the grapeseed oil is a fantastic alternative. You could also use some liquid coconut oil as well. Okay, so we've got our tablespoon of vanilla extract. We're gonna throw it in there. Our instructions instruct us to whisk it in there. So we got our vanilla in there. And we're gonna throw our 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil in. And then we're gonna scrape off our vanilla bean into this. So these are our seeds from the vanilla bean. We're just gonna scrape it in there, whisk it around. Maybe if they'll come off the end of that knife. There we go.
So then once we get all of these things whisked in there, what are we gonna do next?
Yeah, so now it's time to add our 2 eggs. And then, yep, we've cracked them already, and Meg's gonna go ahead and pour those in there.
One at a time, or can I just dump
You
them
just
in?
throw them in there and we'll whisk them in. Oh, okay, nice. Thank you. Thanks for that.
My bad.
I love wearing sugar, water, butter, eggs, vanilla in my my outfit. It's good.
Well, hey, don't forget that vanilla bean seed. It's an expensive ensemble.
Oh my gosh. And when we say expensive, we mean like you should walk into the store with your $20 bill and expect to walk out with $2 change for 2 vanilla beans. Alrighty, so that looks blended real good. This is our liquid mixture, and the liquid mixture is officially done.
Remember, this is a special occasion cake.
That's right. Alrighty. So now we are instructed to whisk in our dry ingredients until smooth. So we're gonna go ahead and combine them. And instead of adding dry to wet, I'm gonna add wet to dry into our bigger bowl. All right. I'm gonna pause it.
All right, so we transferred our liquid ingredients from the pan into a bigger mixing bowl so we could add our dry ingredients to the liquid ingredients like the recipe instructs. Just remember, when you take the liquid ingredients out of the fridge, they're gonna be cooled but not cold. So if your pan is still warm, don't think you're doing something wrong.
Or maybe you could deduce that, oh, maybe it's still a little bit hot from the stovetop.
So we're adding, does the recipe say that we need to add a little bit at a time?
Yeah, it says we're gonna whisk it in. So in my opinion, whisking it in looks like this. I'm gonna throw parts of it in, whisk it a little bit, and then I'll throw a little bit more.
Don't throw too much, we're keeping the kitchen clean.
Right, yes. Yeah, Mom's getting stressed over there. I said I was throwing dry ingredients. So. I'm also kidding, she's not stressed. Maybe she is and she's not saying anything.
Oh, she's allowing the Meg and Jill show,
And if you-
as Aunt Cheryl calls it, to continue.
And we're gonna get,
This was a family production, people.
you notice our texture is obviously changing, getting a little thicker, more cakey. I wish you could smell it through that phone because it smells good. That vanilla bean is strong and good. Okay, and I'm just gonna throw the rest of it in now. And yes, we did just have to correct the children over here sitting in the peanut gallery.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you kids, your parents have to keep track of you guys, and we have to keep track of our parents on this end of the phone.
Whenever you get 2 sisters together, you just never know what's going
right.
to happen.
So a little bit about me to you students. I am currently a dental student at the University of Iowa. I will have you know that no, I was not the student who contracted the coronavirus. Nor do I know who that student was. But we are currently doing everything online, and it's kind of funny for me to get to play the role of student while also being at home with my mother, who is not able to work right now due to the current health recommendations from our health department. So it's really fun getting to do schoolwork and have conversations with my mom throughout the day too. It's interesting.
So you're saying you feel just like these middle school kids?
Yeah,
might
I
be
feel like
feeling.
these. I feel like we're all in uncharted territory here, and it's kind of fun.
Amen, amen.
All right, here is our final texture of our cake mixture.
Yum.
So it's a little bit thicker, but it's got some runniness to it. This is a good thing, and it's still kind of warm, like you can feel it. So we're gonna pause here, and we're gonna get ready for the next step.
So we sprayed our baking pans with nonstick spray. So you're gonna need 2 round pans because we like to make layered cake. And the Vanilla Bean Gallery over here was looking up the cost of vanilla beans on Amazon. Mom, what'd you find?
Well, at first I got excited because I saw $4.99. But you know what? I quickly found out that bought 1 vanilla bean, but that is a deal. Actually, that's a deal. You got a lot of different options, but yeah, a 1 pack is $4.99 on Amazon. But the ones that I bought were $18.79 on Amazon. The same. I bought them at Fresh Time, so it was no cheaper. Buy local.
Buy local.
That's-
I like
yeah,
that.
that's the results. Buy
Support local. Okay. So
Alrighty.
there you go. There's your daily deal.
Okay.
All right, JB,
So
what do we got?
Our pans have been prepared. Our oven is prepped to 350. And this.
Remember, we turn our oven on to preheat at the beginning.
Yep. So this is enough to fill both of these pans, and there's going to be a little bit of some rising action after we bake these. So
How much are you gonna fill the pans up?
I'm just going to do
Split
an
it in half.
even split between these 2 pans with this mix here. So
Okay.
here I go. I understand that's not very good instruction, but
So you're gonna fill them about halfway full, right?
yep. And I'm going to dance over to the next one.
Dancing. I didn't see
Dance.
much dancing happening
right.
there. We did that earlier.
Let's see here. Yeah, we did do some dancing earlier.
Because what is family baking if you don't dance in the kitchen?
Well, and you know what? There is something to be said about the ability to eyeball it. So, so here we are eyeballing it. I
I
think
think she did pretty good. What do you guys think?
that's about a fair split. And then I will scrape. Yep, I will scrape so as to not waste.
But it's okay if you leave a little in the pan because we all know what we're gonna do as soon as we're done, right?
absolutely. This is a spoon after all, right? I'm gonna eat off it.
You saw her. Make sure you finish getting the cake batter into the pans before you
right.
lick the spoon.
Right, that is right. All right, I think that is gonna work for us. So now we're gonna go ahead and stick these 2 pans in the oven. I am going to try and fit them on the same rack, the same height rack in the oven right now. So we're gonna pause and then we're gonna move on to the oven.
And we're gonna try and put them on the middle rack. We're gonna try and keep them in the center of the oven so they're not too close to the burner. All right, here we go.
Okay. All right, we're going into the bottom oven today. We're gonna put them on this rack here because I think they'll both fit just fine. Go under there first. Okay, and then pan number 2. All right, and the majority of our work is done.
Beautiful. Now it's up to the oven.
It is up to the oven, and we are going to bake that for 25 to 30 minutes.
Perfect. Something to keep in mind, if you put your pans, if you stagger them, if your oven doesn't have room to put them side by side, you need to rotate them about halfway through so that they bake evenly. So it's good that we were able to fit them in side by side. All right, so we baked for 25 minutes, and now Jill is going to,
Gonna go in with our handy dandy toothpick,
yes,
and we're
get
gonna
your oven mitts out.
Yes, and we're gonna do the toothpick test throughout the cake just to see if we got any wet spots still. Because this did say we could go for 25 to 30 minutes, so we're gonna see how 25 minutes works.
So we're gonna slide the shelf out a little bit.
check them out.
Don't let go of the shelf because it can drop out of the oven.
All right, let's see here. Ooh, looks pretty good. Do you
Looking
see
clean?
see any cake on there? I don't.
So the toothpick came out clean in that cake. So we're testing in the thickest part. So we're going into the dome.
I think it looks pretty good.
Yep.
And if you look in the pan, you can see those nice golden edges around, which is great. I think these are done, and we will take them out.
Perfect. The amount of time it takes to bake your cake depends on your oven and how hot it runs, if it gets up to temperature. So we've got 2 oven mitts on to take our cake out.
And too many towels. That's okay. Alrighty, there are our cakes.
It's a beaut, Clark.
We're gonna let them cool a little bit, and then we'll get to our decorating.
Right. So we've let our cakes cool for about 15 to 20 minutes. And now we're going to turn them out. And since we plan to make a layered cake, we need to take the domes off the top.
Don't they look pretty? I think so. They look good. Okay. Megan's gonna say turn them out. I'm not gonna do that. No one laugh at how I'm gonna do this. This is how I'm gonna do this.
So you're,
Just like
in case
that.
you're wondering, I'm not no one.
And I'm gonna flip it, put the flat side down, and there you go. No harm, no foul. It's good. It's good. So I'm gonna go ahead. You could do this with
Dental
metal,
floss?
like dental. You could do it with dental floss to cut this off. You could use a cheese cutter, for a cheese block, which is just like a metal. I'm sure your moms might know that, but it's like a metal string that's used to cut through things. But I'm gonna just go ahead and use this bread knife because it's pretty easy. But I'm gonna move this cake a little more to the side so that my hand doesn't run into the rim of this baking thing.
And I'm gonna zoom in so everyone can see your hands.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and try to keep it,
And
make
keep
a
that-
level cut, and we're just gonna cut this dome part off. And we're just trying to make it flat because this is gonna be the bottom section of the cake. Because we got our 2-layered cake here.
And here's the best part about this.
We get to keep it and we get to eat it.
Yeah, this will have nothing to do with the final product.
That's right.
So we get to taste test our work.
That's right. This is kind of hard to do on a...
Do you need a hand?
No, I don't.
Miss Independent.
That's right. Alrighty.
Boom. One done.
Check that out. We get to keep it and look at how good that baked.
Spongy cake. Yum. Perfect.
Here I
And
go.
How's it taste?
I did make this cake like 3 months ago for myself and my roommate and a couple friends because that sounds a little better than me eating a whole cake by myself. But it's really, I can tell the difference from having the actual whole vanilla bean in there. I didn't have a vanilla bean when I made it. I made it at my apartment in Iowa City, and literally no stores in Iowa City had a vanilla bean. So
So you can make the cake without the bean,
You
but
can.
the flavor, how would you say it
it's
compares?
more rich. It's more vanilla. You just have a more vanilla taste.
It's more vanilla-y.
More vanilla-y. And also, I think we were totally fine to not use the granulated sugar. I think that our sweet cream... Sorry, our children in the background over here.
I'm sorry.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
We're done. We're done with that.
So we are not going to frost our cake. We like to use whipped cream, and we always like to make it homemade. So we are going to use heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to make all of it. So, well, I'm gonna make what's left of it. Someone got into there. Someone always likes to use the heavy whipping cream in their coffee. You guys know how much I love my coffee. I come by it honestly. It's a family thing. So I'm gonna pour all of my heavy whipping cream into my mixing bowl. And then I'm going to turn my beater. You're gonna put your electric mixer into all the way down to the bottom, so make sure that the beaters are touching the bottom of the bowl. If not, it's gonna kick up milk everywhere and make a big mess. So make sure your beaters are touching the bottom of the bowl, and you wanna use a deep mixing bowl to keep all of the cream inside. I'm gonna turn this up about halfway, and then I'm gonna slowly be turning it up halfway, and I can slowly increase speed as the cream starts to thicken into whipped cream. I haven't added anything to this. I'm gonna whip my cream first, and then once my whipped cream forms, and it's still got just a little milk, then I'll add a little bit of vanilla extract. So we've got good, authentic Mexican vanilla. It's the best. So I'm gonna start mixing, and then we will be back to show you the final product. So at this point, where we've got soft peaks foaming in our whipped cream, this is when I'm gonna add a teaspoon of my vanilla extract. I wanna be careful because heavy whipping cream not only is used to make whipped cream, but it's also used to make butter. So if I overbeat this, it's gonna start coming together and it's gonna become butter. So I wanna make sure that I wait until I'm at this stage because the alcohol in the vanilla can make it so that the cream won't set up. So you wanna wait until you've got your cream set up to get to this point. A lot of people like to put powdered sugar in this. We like ours just to be pretty plain. We like the vanilla flavor. We don't like to add extra sugar.
Plus, the sugar in the cake is already enough. I mean, you did see us put 2 cups of sugar in the liquid mixture, so when we were making our cake, so you'd be surprised. It actually tastes really good even without sugar in the whipped cream.
Yeah, it's all about preference. So the nice thing about cooking at home is you can make it whatever you want, right?
Yes.
All right, so Jill's gonna go ahead and add our vanilla, and then I'm going to run the mixer just a little bit more to mix that vanilla in, and then I'm gonna stop it. And again, I don't wanna overmix because we're not trying to have vanilla flavored butter. So now we've got our vanilla whipped cream ready to go on our cakes.
So decorating a cake, I don't know, it's kind of up to you, I guess, how you want to do it. This is my birthday cake. So my favorite is this vanilla dream cake with the unsweetened whipped cream. And I like to have these strawberries layered through the middle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some whipped cream through the middle. And then I'm going to lay these strawberries on there tightly and closely together because it's delicious. And then after we do that, we'll move on with the next layer.
So you want to put a big dollop of whipped cream in the middle, and you want
Dollop.
Yeah. Because since we cut the top off, this part of the cake is going to want to get crummy and into the whipping cream, which isn't a super big deal since it's in the middle. It's going to be covered by another layer of cake when we put the top on, but we don't want to have crumbs in the top. So if we have any professional cake baking people out there, you know you don't want crumbs in your frosting.
And also, we know we're not professionals, so at least I do. I'm not even gonna claim to be a professional. I'm just a professional eater, and that's
what that's called.
fair enough, I think. So, because I want to have enough to decorate the exterior, I'm just gonna grab a little bit more for the middle here. Just kind of thicken it up a little around the edges. And then we'll go ahead and throw those strawberries in the middle.
Okay, here we go. So we are going to rinse our strawberries because we want to get rid of the pesticides that might be on them.
Not to be confused with any pests in our kitchen. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Come on, someone had to crack that joke. It was so easy and obvious.
Walked right into it, sure did.
That's right.
The seeds on the strawberry actually hold a lot of pesticides and bacteria, so you want to just make sure that you are getting those clean. You can use soap, you can use baking soda, you just want to make sure that you get that all washed and rinsed off before you use your berries in your product. Or you can go around all of that and buy organic. All right.
Okie dokie. So done this. I decorated the middle. I didn't even notice that I just didn't go around the edges. I just stayed on the top here. And here's our second layer. This layer, I haven't shaved any bit of the cake off. It's just how it came out of the oven.
So we want a domed top on this one.
Yeah, we're gonna do a domed top. Sometimes, like a lot of professional bakers will not do that. They'll cut it, level it out, and it just, we're at home. And like I said, we don't really care. So
That's when you wouldn't want to get any crumbs in the dollop of whipped cream.
that's right.
However, we do want to line up our second layer.
And I think
You done good.
I did good, I think.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's a beauty.
Right.
Bring it on. Here's the next dollop.
Oh boy, dolloping. Dollop.
Real professional cake
Dollop
making
of whip.
terms here. Yeah. Not to be confused with a dollop of daisy.
That's right. And like I've been saying, there's really no rhyme or reason or professionalism to this. There's just me smearing it around.
We do want to make sure we still have a thick layer of whipped cream between the straight edge metal spatula and the cake, because it still will crumble if we don't have enough.
And I am sure that there is a professional and proper way to do this, and I know I'm not doing it, so.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's her birthday, right? So
Sorry.
listen, whatever brings her joy with this cake decorating. How about that?
Hey, this is my favorite cake in the whole darn world. So, if you've ever had a Texas sheet cake, it's a lot like that.
Yum.
It's cooked kind of the same way. The
Right.
liquid.
So you were saying this is cooked kind of like a Texas.
I
Layer?
don't know if it's cooked exactly like a Texas sheet cake, but I just was quoting my sources, which is my mother, and she said that, yeah, this is kind of similar to a Texas sheet cake because of the fact that the liquids are cooked, not just like beat in right away. So now I'm trying to do the sides right now. It's kind of tricky. Sometimes there's a special tool, like when you're using real frosting or fondant, you can use a straight edge tool to help you with the frosting around the edge, but I clearly don't have that, nor do I care really, so.
I think it's turning out pretty good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the positivity.
That's what big sisters
We are only cake positive around here, not corona positive.
The Rona jokes just keep coming.
I'm
guys.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm probably real terrible for making the jokes. It's not a joke. Wash your hands. Stay at home. I mean it. It's not a joke, but come on. When there's nothing you can do, you just make light of it and you move on, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe this does look okay. Maybe
Jill is a professional after all.
Well, I will still never claim the name of professional, but
It's beautiful.
thank you.
And we will come back and show you the final product.
Yep.
With your work. Look how beautiful.
Isn't it? Look at it. I do a spin for you. Isn't it
Turned out
pretty?
so good. And Mom, what was that?
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delish. Yum. With your work. Look how beautiful.
Isn't it? Look at it. I do a spin for you. Isn't it
Turned out
pretty?
so good. And Mom, what was that?
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delish. Yum. All right, so our final product is done. Are you ready? Jill's proud. We're proud.
Okay, here it is.
Dum, da, da, da.
Woo! Woo! Look at it.
Beautiful.
Isn't it? It's a beaut.
Can't you just see it falling?
Yeah,
out?
what if
Don't
I just
do it.
plopped it over? Okay.
Oh, man.
There.
So, I am looking forward to seeing how your cakes turn out. So be
Yeah,
sure
make it. Pick different fruit.
Yeah, you can do it non-strawberry, and then take your pictures, submit it to Moodle, and I'll share with Jill your final results, and we'll see how yours compares to her decorating. How about that?